Welcome back to the back chat with the back doctor. This is how to go from pain to beyond pain. And with me today, I have a very special guest. This is someone from the other side of Aussie country. His name is David. And now David is a recovery buyer. And now what he does is he buys businesses for a living, right? Going from a recovery addict, boom, straight to now buying businesses. David, welcome. I'm so excited to have you on, man.
Timmy, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
So I just want you to give a bit of a rundown, a bit of a background about yourself, because, I want to be talking about health. And when you're running a business, you are moving constantly, going around from one thing to the other. Your health becomes so essential. But I want people to know your story, your background, so that then we can lead into what things people can do to look after themselves better.
Sure. Happy to share. And I'll just say that my work experience started in business models that required a lot of physical activity, which I loved. In
Mhm.
fact, the only thing that I knew for sure when I went to university is I would never, ever work a job that had me sitting at a desk all day, every day. So that tells you what I know, because that's exactly what I do now. And my journey includes, big corporate, global corporate, law firms and big tech companies like Microsoft. But really, in the last 10 years, I focused on really fast, innovative, VC funded tech startups.
Okay.
And that is really demanding. And so I'm excited to kind of unpack the health aspects of that. And God has blessed me tremendously in that He partnered me with three different founders in those VC tech startups who have since exited in the last 5 years, all three of them. And so that was kind of the backstory to how did I get into buying businesses. I saw firsthand what it looked like for these people to scale a business and then sell it. And I thought, man, I want to do that for myself. How do I get to do that? And I know now how hard it is to build a business from scratch. I'm going to go buy something that's working reasonably well and apply what I know, which is growing them.
100%. And, a lot of the time we talk about, oh, yeah, you just got to start up a business, you just got to work hard, and then, yeah, things will work out for the best. However, a lot of the time people fall into what I like to call is a three-stage trap, right? First of all, their businesses aren't durable, aka it's all reliant on you. Something
Mm-hmm.
happens to you or something happens to your family and you need to be out from the business. There you go. There goes the revenue. There goes the income. The second I call is a scalable, right? Do you have people doing the work with you, or are you just the one doing everything? And I always put it down to the spinning of plates. So you've got, let's say, you got the front end. I've got to get clients. I've got to get business, right? And then you're trying to spin that plate, but then you got to be like, I've got to make sure I get people on the sales, right? I got to make sure I'm getting people started. I'm looking after people. I'm actually providing the service. I'm spinning that plate. Then it's like customer service. How's the service side going? Right. So I'm spinning this plate, but oh, look, the front end's gone off. So that's the second part. And then the third part is what I just really love to call is like your own freedom, your own time. Because if you're
Mm-hmm.
doing everything, you're not durable. You don't have time. And that creeps into not just your work life, but that creeps into your home life as well.
100%.
Yeah.
I love that. I
So
might I might steal that framework.
take it. Take it, right? Because it's what I try to teach everyone in our practice that comes in. Because I've got people that, just work. I have people that run their own businesses. And it doesn't matter which spectrum you're on, your health is always being affected. And if you're not looking after yourself, the quality of work you do goes down. The amount of
Mhm.
impact you can make decreases and how much money you make decreases as well.
Absolutely.
So, like for example, for you with your health journey, what was the biggest standout?
I think there's two things, if I may share.
Of course.
One, I was working at one of the largest global law firms in the world. Think Bill Gates Senior's law firm. And there we had this tremendous individual who, her job was to support one of, several of the legal partners. But on her lunch break, she would volunteer to lead what we called chair yoga in an empty conference room for some of the people in the office. And to me, that was the first step in realizing, wow, I am only limited. My fitness aspirations are only limited by my creativity. Like here we are in a conference room on a lunch break doing yoga to do something good for ourselves because most of us were, kind of like hunched over our keyboards all day and really needing something that can open us up. So that was one of the things. It's just like, wow, I've just like been thinking so small about fitness. Like I don't have time for the gym. Second, I actually got into the crazy world of Krav Maga. And if you're not familiar with it, it's a fighting
Well,
system developed by the Israeli Special Forces. And it's just effective and really brutal, like very efficient. And they've adopted it for other, law enforcement, for civilians. And it's a great way to learn about self-defense for any body size, component, age, etc. Now, this worked out really well fitness wise as a gym because for 60 minutes, no matter how stressed I was when I showed up, and I was really stressed at this time. This is when I'm in the tech startups and the compression of scaling really quickly. We're constantly worried about running out of money. I couldn't think about that because I had to focus on not getting punched in the face.
yeah.
And that reset button was tremendously powerful to me. And I started realizing, wow, I work better after this because I'm just able to like hit this reset button and cleanse all the things that seemed so big beforehand. Suddenly I had a different perspective. I came out of it. I'm like, all right, I felt really stuck and wound up. Now I can go into problem solving mode and just like address it really logically and start my second shift at, 9 p.m. or whatever it was.
No, that's big. And you know what? Like what you described, it's basically like a nervous system response in your body because you're going from 'cause our body. All right, for everyone listening, I'm going to get like super technical now. So get ready. I want to keep it nice and simple. Okay. But our body is intelligent. It's smart. Okay. It knows what it's doing. Our brain, super intelligent. However, go back 1,000 years, we're in survival mode and we're in a stressed mode versus a relaxed mode. Your brain can't distinguish stress from being survival mode or not. So, you go back, if you're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, you're in survival mode, you're in the stress mode. Nowadays, modern life, it's more unnaturally stressful. So the types of stress that we have, just you were describing, David, is like hunched over, desk, right? All this stuff being thrown at you. It's actually small, tiny stresses that is not going to kill you. But your brain doesn't see it that way. Your nervous system doesn't see it that way. So when you talk about doing these exercises, doing these trainings, you're putting yourself into the real survival mode. And now what happens effectively is when you leave from there, all the other stuff, it's not even registered as a problem to you anymore. It's not registered as a stress because
Yes.
you went from, I'm going to get literally punched in the face, which is going to hurt like hell, versus, oh yeah, did you make this deadline? Doesn't even phase me anymore. It's not even stressful. So that way
Mhm.
your body relaxes and then you can actually focus.
That's
So I just
exactly
want
it.
to expand on that and just go into a bit deeper because what you said there, I was like, yeah, that's so cool. Oh man. So a little bit about, have you been to a chiropractor before, David?
I have. Yes.
What was your journey experience like with them?
I've had, again, two experiences. One, I got signed up for a highly comprehensive analysis, including x-ray, including, heat imaging, all kinds of things. And we had a mapped out plan. And I felt like it just got me on the path to getting good enough so I only had to come in once a week. But I had to keep coming back every week to get feeling good again.
Yeah.
And then I got really into yoga actually and didn't need the chiropractor as much. And now I'm old, so I need the chiropractor again.
No, that's
But
good.
this time I have somebody who has, I think, a more kind of a different approach, holistic, and he does more than just chiropractic. There's, like dry needling and he can do, manual manipulations and therapy. And then, but there's a big emphasis on strengthening things that have deficiencies to better hold everything in place, which I love.
Yeah.
Because again, he can send me on my way and it might be months before I go back and see him again.
Yeah, 100%. It's a big thing, right? Because there's so many different types of chiropractic out there. There's so many different types of chiropractors. But what it ultimately comes down to is that when we adjust you, our goal is to restore function in your body, is to make sure that your brain communicates to your spine, communicates to the rest of the body. I would rather be functioning at 100% than functioning at 80% of what I can be. That is the premise of what chiropractors do in the simple terms, right? Because for you, right now, would you say that you are pretty much going nonstop from one business to the next business, buying from one business to the next business?
Nonstop.
How do you deal with your health? How do you look after yourself? What's like a routine? So everyone listening, be like, you know what? That's freaking crazy. What's your routine like?
The older I get, the more regimented becomes. And the first things that go into my calendar and into my day, I have to design this in because I'm lazy, I'm inconsistent, I'm unmotivated. So I set my environment for success. And that means when I wake up, I brush my teeth, I read my Bible, and I go to the gym. And those are like some non negotiables for me. And then, again, I'm creating structure around it. So one thing that's important to me is like, yes, I'm really aggressive about constantly chasing businesses. I'm probably going to make 2 offers this week on businesses. But my family is more important than that to me. That's my personal priority. And so when I have my calendar, the first 2 things that go into my calendar is taking my daughter to school and picking her up. And everything kind of gets scheduled around that before, middle, after. And even this conversation that we're having, like I had blocked out bedtime because I'm not going to miss that. I'm going to say goodnight to her. I'm going to be able to read to her. And now we're able to have this conversation. I can be fully present, but that's my priorities. And so it's a lot of like environmental design.
Yeah.
And then the important things have to happen first because I have the best intentions of working out in the evening and zero ability to follow through after I've worked 8 hours.
If you guys do not take notes on that, take notes because I got my notes already on that. That's amazing. That resonated with me. I've got a daughter now. She's 8 months. Right. So I'm still going through like the newborn to toddler phases and family time, scheduling that out, being super disciplined. I absolutely love. Similar to you, you got the daily non negotiables, right? You got things that you don't miss. For me, getting up at 5 o'clock, reviewing my goals, training for 45 minutes before I go about my day. Now, does the training always happen? No, but you can always move that to another time, something that can be blocked out another area. So I love that. The more disciplined you are, the more structured you are, the more you follow that regimen, the more stuff happens. And do you find that when you're in that type of routine, do you find that you don't have to think as much? You're not always wondering, what do I need to do next? Or, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's that you get stuck. When you just like have a brain freeze and you go, I need to do something right now. I have this 1 hour or 2 hours of time. And I'm like, what do I do? I don't know if you've ever been there. Right? Does that get
Not
rid of
since I
that?
had a kid, but
True that, eh? I was
those
like,
will
what's
go away
that?
pretty quickly for you today.
As soon as she
But
sleeps, we got
yeah,
20 minutes to get shit
yeah.
done out of
Yeah,
my
you're just furiously just trying to get things done. Yeah, yeah. It graduates because, soon you'll be able to set her down and she'll be able to sit for like 20 minutes on her own and entertain herself and you'll run and do stuff. And then suddenly she's mobile and you're like, no, how do I do it? It's hilarious. No, absolutely. When I've already set the parameters and I understand what the routine is, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to decide. That's the big thing. I'm not deciding, am I going to the gym or not? My routine the night before is, because I'm waking up before my wife, set my gym clothes outside of the bedroom so I don't wake her up when I'm getting dressed. And so then it's automatic. I'm not waking up and fumbling around in the dark. Like I just get up. And the hardest part I found, if I can get my feet on the floor, the rest will follow. And so my alarm goes off and I'm like, no. My daughter got up last night and was coughing, and I'm so tired. I'm just gonna get my feet on the floor. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do this second. And once I get my feet on the floor, then I can follow.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. You're getting rid of that paralysis, of everything that you need to do, and you just focus
Hmm.
on the one thing, the next step. And the next
Hmm.
step is just getting your feet out, putting it
Yeah.
on the floor,
Yeah.
and then the rest will follow through. So true. That's so good. You got nuggets
I don't know
today.
if this is helpful to anybody else too, but I'm somebody because I'm like that startup junkie and then, like just dive in head first. I see a lot of things as all or nothing. I'm either going to like get in a great workout or no workout. And one thing that's shifted in the last couple of years is like I have a best case scenario workout, but I also have like a minimum. And for me, it's counting my steps, right?
Yeah,
Like I was like, okay, even if I don't make it into the gym, I am going to get 8,000 steps. And actually, 3 weeks ago, I bumped it up to 9,000. So you can like make steps. And I started at 6,000, right? Like 6,000, like you're barely even trying. And it was hard for me to get that, but you can have incremental gains. And you know that like, 8,000 steps is still better than nothing.
that's right. And don't forget, you went from sitting down. So 6,000
Mhm.
is a freaking amazing next step, right? They say minimum you should be doing 10,000. But hey, if you go from a lifestyle of constantly sitting down and you're starting to do more, that's already a big step. And the rest will follow. The
Yep.
rest will follow. One of the things I always say is you never downplay what you've done. You know, um,
Mhm.
there are people in life that aren't as privileged, that don't have the same opportunities that everyone else has. So one thing that I always tell myself is I get to do this,
Yes.
right? I do get to get up in the morning. I do get to serve people. I get to help people because not everyone is that same position. And when you come from a place of love, really, gratitude, thankfulness, you come from your heart and everything else just becomes so much more fun and easier,
Yeah.
right? It's such a beautiful thing.
Agreed. Yes, sir.
So good. So, couple more things, David. I'm really loving your nuggets and your shares. They're so good. Like 10 out of 10. If there was one thing that you would say to people that if you really want to take your health around, change your health around, what would that one thing be for you?
This might not resonate with everybody, but for me, it is investing in your health. And that can be different for different people. And I've been in places where I didn't have an extra $10 a month for anything, but there is an investment that you can make, whether it's educating yourself, joining a gym, moving your walking shoes next to the door so that it's more automatic. I have yet to regret investing in my health. And, you know, last year I felt like I was going extravagant, crazy because I paid somebody who is an expert in nutrition to teach me about like I've always heard, these fit people that I look up to talking about macros and, calorie deficit. I had no idea what that meant. And I paid somebody and they made it again, little bite-sized pieces to stack wins. And so don't be afraid to invest in your health. In fact, find ways. It doesn't have to be money investments, but can I invest 10 minutes today in breath work? Again, I started with chair yoga where we're standing, just like doing poses you can do in a tie and a collared shirt in an office, right? Like,
Is
so.
big. I love that because, and I love how you say invest and you don't say pay for your health because you
Mhm.
can't pay for your health. You can only invest in it and you can invest in it in many multitude of ways. And the one thing that I wanted to share with you is you can't afford everything in your life. You can only afford what you need. So you need to put your health as a priority, not Netflix, not some other thing that's not as important. You can put those aside. You can say, you know what, that's not a priority for me. That's something as an extra. What I do need is my health. Because, like David, do you love your cars? Sweet. If your back is gone, your health is affected. Are you going to be able to drive?
No.
No. right? You want to play with your kids. If your health is gone, not only are you not going to be able to play with your kids, but another frame of mind is how do you think your kids are going to look up to you? Like that is the one thing that sits in my mind more now. That's more of a motivator for me, which is, you know what? What kind of role model do I want to be for my kids? Do I want to be relying on my kids? Do I want my kids looking after me as I get older? Hell no. I want them to see the best version of me. Right? That's more of a motivator for me than for me to be like, yeah, cool, I should just lift some weights today, which I did do. I waited 10 minutes because they said you have to wait before you get into the gym. I was like, what? Are you serious? And another good point that you mentioned, you talked about your fitness trainers. Like my trainer has got me on these macros, these Excel spreadsheets, and these things go detailed, man. Like they go detailed once it loads. Look at that. Like
Oh,
we're
yeah.
talking training, we're talking meal plans, right? We're talking everything that you can think of. It just gets broken down. Why? Why? Is it just a thing? No, it's because it gets outcomes, it gets results. The more structured you are, the more disciplined you are, the more you can look after your health. There's a step by step formula. David,
Stacking wins.
stack and wins, man. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Is there any handles that you can leave for anyone to jump on, follow you on Instagram?
Yes, please. So I am most active on Instagram, and you can find me. Excuse me. My company is called Top Line Operators.
Mm.
And so my Instagram is Top Line Ops, OPS. And that's where I share all my best stuff. And if you have any questions or anything that I can help you with, shoot me a DM. I'm happy to help you.
And I'm going to make sure that's up on the screen for anyone
Brilliant.
watching that's not listening so they can see it as well. Awesome. All right, David, thank you so much. Guys,
10 minutes.
you got a lot out of today because number one thing is continuously work on your health, continuously invest in your health, as David said. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.